bold cocktails, and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Treme, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It's 7:28. If you got to be there at 7:30, hope it's real close, like the other side of the bed.
It better be that close.
It better be close. But if you got time to get there for 7:45, maybe 8 o'clock, you might be in decent shape. But hopefully you're in good shape with grabbing all the things that you need. Double checking to make sure you got your keys, your glasses, your phone. Man, I hate it when I leave my phone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my, we've gotten so attached.
Yeah.
We've gotten so attached. It's part of our body. It's a must-have. It's a must-have. So we got to get you on the road. And what do we want them to do? Because we still got school kids out there.
Oh, yeah. Slow down. Watch out for the kids. Chief love the kids.
All right, so be careful out there, folks. How about those Saints? Wow. Anybody want a bell?
No.
Wow. The Saints fall to 1-6. 1-6. That is not to say that there weren't some good Saints plays. There were some good Saints plays. But not enough good Saint plays and a lot of mistakes. A lot of turnovers. Oh, man. And this was the return of former head coach Dennis Allen.
Right.
And what won the game yesterday? Defensive coach Dennis Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Up against the Saints. It seems like our offense just didn't have what they needed to fire back at Dennis Allen's defense. And we don't talk about sports every day or even every week, but man, that was a heck of a thing. And we're at 1-6. We got Ro Brown on the line.
Oh, man.
Mr. Brown, how are you, sir?
Well, hello, gentlemen.
Well, good morning. Good morning. How about those Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. How about them?
1-6.
Yeah.
1-6. There were some good plays, but way too many mistakes, in my opinion. But you're far more experienced and expert at this kind of thing. What do you think?
Well, not surprising. I mean, as far as the record is concerned, it's pretty much what most people thought it would be. You know, I mean, they were coming into the season. A lot of people thought the Saints may be the worst team in the league. I don't think they're necessarily worse. They're one of the worst.
But they're close.
But, there are other teams like that. I mean, they're rebuilding.
So was this Dennis Allen's revenge, or was he just doing his job?
Well, I'm sure, I mean, like, Dennis Allen's been a football player, been a football coach, been around football. His daddy was a Dirty Bird, played for the Falcons. So, so he's been around it a long time. He's a competitive person. And I'm sure during the week, that had something to do with, his motivation. I mean, that's natural, I think.
Uh-huh.
When somebody fires you, you get a chance to compete against them. You want to beat them. And that's what he did.
Oh, he sure did. And convincingly so.
Yeah, it's like I said, I mean, Chicago's in the same position, just, a little bit further ahead. I mean, they have a winning record, but, they're rebuilding also. And, I mean, I just think people have to just accept that, the Saints are going to beat somebody or bodies, okay, before the season is over. I mean, it happens all the time. And, they're not going to win a lot of games. They're going to have a high draft choice next year in the draft. They'll have a good choice because they're going to lose a lot of games. And they're rebuilding, and that's everybody goes through it. This time 2-3 years ago, the Patriots were in the same situation. And they're working their way back. And, I mean, I don't think people understand how good it's been for as long as it's been.
Yeah.
Earl, can I ask you a question about the defense? Do you think the absence of Tyrann Mathieu and that defense has hurt them from not just from a coverage standpoint, but from a leadership standpoint? That might be some of the mental breakdowns that's taking place.
Personally, I'm not sure that. I don't think Tyrann Mathieu is now. This Tyrann Mathieu would have made a difference. I thought Tyrann should have retired.
Okay.
After last year, I did. And it's not a swipe at him. I mean, he was such a tremendous instinctive player. I just, I mean, I was very happy that Tyrann decided to retire when he did. He had a great career, especially for somebody, I always like to say, Chief, especially for somebody as little as he was.
Oh, yeah.
And,
we knew him from saying, he was a beast.
But I don't, but that's, he wasn't the honey badger anymore.
Right.
Okay. He just wasn't. And that's okay. I mean, that happens with everybody at some point. Some people go longer. And so, I don't think that would have.
That played in it? Okay.
No, I don't think that would have made a difference. Okay. Yeah. I don't think Tyrann Mathieu was one of the reasons why the defense is the way it is.
Okay.
I think, look, I'm kind of a basic person. I don't claim to be a analyst like an ex-coach or anything like that. I like all that, and I think it has something to do with it. But I have always said, and I continue to say that you got to have players, okay? You got to have players.
Right. And
players are people who make plays. It's simple for me to say this one, but, I always said when number 9 retired, New Orleans is going to be just like a lot of other teams. Number 9 was somebody who covered a lot of sins.
Right.
Okay. And that's okay. That every team is that way. Okay. Every team is that way. You have players who cover up a lot of sins,
right.
who do things that that the coach can't help you with.
Right. That precipitous dip we took when he left was incredible. We went from one of the best to one of the worst.
And you gotta, and it's people who are old enough, and you guys are old enough. I always tell this story about a coach of a college team that was here to play Tulane. And we talked to him the day before the game, and we asked him about his defense. And he said, well, we play the basic Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I said, okay. So he left, and when he walked away, I just told everybody, we were talking about it, and I said, he just got on a bus with the team. And if Joe Green's not on that bus, and Jack Lambert ain't on that bus, and Mel Blount ain't on that bus, and Jack Ham ain't on that bus, he is not playing the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Right.
They weren't on that bus. Okay.
Right.
And I just, I mean, coaching's important.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not. It is. Coaching's important. Dennis Allen got head coaching jobs because he was a tremendous coordinator.
Right.
But obviously he's a better coordinator than he is a head coach.
Right.
And that's okay. That's all right. That's what he is. Okay. He is a tremendous defensive coordinator, but he failed twice as a head coach.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll keep watching the Saints, and at least no paper bags have come out yet. And we got a developing quarterback, Rattler. How'd he do yesterday?
Yeah. That was his worst game this year.
Yeah.
He looked sometimes, he didn't look as bad as he looked all last year, his first year, of course. But, he's been playing pretty well. Yesterday, he did some good things yesterday, but he did some bad things. He turned the ball over personally 4 times, and he hadn't been turning it over at all.
Right. Yeah.
In the first 6 games. So yesterday he turned it over 4 times, and that's what made a big difference in the game.
Well, the only way a quarterback's going to get experience by being in a game. But my personal opinion, if he's not the future, we need to put the other kid in because this season is almost gone. So we should try to salvage what we can to give him the experience and see if he may be. I mean, we took him in the first round, if I'm correct. Oh, not first round, but he was our first quarterback we chose. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Second, 40th player. So that's high. That's high. And Chief, I mean, I think that's going to happen. If the Saints were playing well, and if let's say if they were in a position like, what are the Bears now? Are they 4-3,
4-3,
4-3 or whatever? I mean, if you were still in a position where possibly you could do something, I think, it might be this week or it might be next week or a week after, but at some point they're going to do that. They're going to have to see what they have in him because they invested in him. I mean, he was the 40th pick in the draft.
Right.
So he was he was almost a first round pick. So I mean, obviously they think that he has something, so they need to see what they have. They need to see what he can do. And by the same token, it could be a pretty good, situation. I mean, maybe somebody has seen enough in Spencer Rattler that, we'll give you a 5th, 6th round draft choice or something for him.
Right.
Which is what he was, and the young man that you invested in is going to be your guy.
Right. So
I mean, they're in a rebuilding situation. Okay. And, like I said, we have a generation or two of Saints fans who don't know what bad football looks like.
That's right. They don't know.
They don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Drew Sparrow. We want to win his teams during his era in the NFL.
Yes, we were. Yeah. Saints won a lot of games. There's a generation that, they don't know what bad professional football looks like. Okay. And people who are old enough, Saints fans who are old enough, they know.
We know. We know the pain.
Yep.
It was like everybody was breaking their records on us. I mean, that was the crazy thing. I remember when the Russian record was, it happened against the Saints. All the negatives, we were just at the bottom of everything. And then
it was bad football teams.
Yeah.
It was a bad, poorly run organization. And when I say poorly run organization, as far as, the personnel and all, and I keep reminding people, general manager of the Saints at one time, his qualification for being the general manager was he was an astronaut.
I remember that. I remember that. Boy, you got a good memory.
They actually hired someone who was an astronaut to run the football operations.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've come a long way from that.
Dick Gordon, man, he went
That's
to the moon.
Right.
Yep.
All right. So your prediction for the balance of the season, can we win 3 or 4 more games?
Coming in, I thought if they won 4 or 5, that would be good. And I'd still say if they win 4 or 5, that would be good to great. Okay? I mean, that's how I felt coming in. So, I'm not sure that they're going to win 4 or 5 now.
Okay.
But, that's kind of what people expected.
2 or 3 or none?
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna beat somebody about ease between now and the end of the season. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I think they will.
Chief,
did you just hear what Rose said? He said, "I thought if we won 4 or 5, that'd be a great season." Come on,
right.
Ro. Now, Ro, you gonna stop that? You gonna stop that, Ro? You gonna stop that?
No. I mean, but Chief, under the circumstances.
Oh, kind of circumstances now, but I mean, but this is like before the season started. Rose said, I predicted 4 or 5. I mean, golly, you got to give
well,
us.
He's been at this a long time.
Well, that's true.
So,
he's an aficionado in prognostication
team.
on football. I understand all that, but 4 or 5, Rose said, it'll be a great season for us. Oh, my God. That's like the kid brings you home to D and you give a party. Congratulations, you didn't fail. No, you got a D. No summer school. That's a victory.
But Chief, you see, you're one of those who's old enough to know that if I said this 35, 40 years ago, you would have been happy.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I'm spoiled now. You shouldn't have let me see what's on the side of that curtain. I mean, you shouldn't ever give us that parade.
That's right.
Oh,
you're
boy.
right.
Oh,
That's all
boy.
I'm saying.
Well,
you would have been happy if I told you that.
I'm still a Saints fan. I'm watching the struggles. I'm hoping for better with Rattler and whatever else they do. And I look at it as a developmental season, and it's going to be much better next year, especially with that draft choice.
You're looking at it the right way, I think, Will.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Ro Brown. Thank you for joining us on the Good Morning Show. And we'll be watching the Saints and seeing what develops. Have a great day.
All right.
All right.
We'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy the young boy concert.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to be going to break, folks. And when we come back, we're going to hear from Melanie Richardson from Training Grounds about the opportunities for early parenthood assistance. And coming up after that, we got some big news, really big news.
Big news.
Big news that happened on yesterday. So a lot of people know about it, but a whole lot more don't. And so we're going to bring that to you right here on the Good Morning Show. WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
More pleasant weather ahead. Lots of sunshine with highs returning to the mid to upper 80s. Temperatures ranging from 83 to 87. Again, lots of sunshine. That part's not changing. But by the time we do get to Thursday, we'll feel an uptick in humidity just ever so slightly. By Friday, definitely we'll feel that. Also more cloud coverage. Weekend rain chances for Saturday afternoon into early Sunday. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, Go to myhealthybluela.com. Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Chevrolet's heritage, performance, and capability runs through everything we build. From legendary sports cars to bold SUVs, rugged off-road trucks, and innovative EVs. At Chevy, we don't just follow the game, we change it. That's why Chevrolet is proud to support the SWAC, celebrating HBCU students, alumni, and athletes. Because whether it's on the road or on the field, our passion is performance. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK 1230 AM. It is 7:50 AM, so if you got somewhere to be at 8, I hope you're already out the house or out the apartment or wherever you go. And remember, we still got those babies, those youths are out there going to school. So be sure to
slow it down.
Slow it down. That 20 miles per hour can pop up really quickly.
Really quick.
All of a sudden, you're going 22, 23, 25, 27, and the cameras are snapping. So be careful. We're jumping into conversation with Melanie Richardson. She's the executive director for Training Grounds, and we're going to talk a bit about the wonderful work that you all do and the opportunities with your Family First focus and the special things that you're doing for folks who are between the age of 18 and 24.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me this morning. Good morning, everyone. So Training Grounds has been in the community for a while now, right?
Yeah.
So we've been doing work with families with children from birth to 5 for the last 9 years, so almost 10 years now. And this year, we're kicking off our
That's something for Bell.
Oh, yeah.
You've survived.
Yes.
Approaching 10 years.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Startup, so we're New Orleans based, so that's a wonderful thing. And so this year, we decided that we wanted to do a little bit more to support families with young children. And in conjunction with 14 other nonprofits, community organizations, we created Fam First. Families Achieving Milestones. And this is, our first year. We're kicking off the pilot. It is for young people between the ages of 18 and 26. We upped the age a little bit because we had quite a few applicants that were falling into that 25, 26 age group. But it's for young couples, so moms and dads who are expecting their first child can apply to be part of the Fam First program. And with that Fam First program, they're going to receive coaching, a community right? So it's a cohort base. We're looking for 10 couples, 20 individuals, and they will receive perinatal support, co-parenting support, and career development.
Okay.
What?
Yes, yes.
You're kind of like developing a whole family there.
Developing the whole family. That is what we are about. That's what we know will yield the kind of results for our community that we want. And so we decided, like, let's do something bold. Let's not do something just for moms or just for dads or just for babies, but let's wrap our arms around our young parents from the very beginning and support them all the way through delivery, through the child's first 3 months, and then training grounds will pick up after that because we work with them all the way until their child turns 5.
Wow, that is tremendous. So how much does this cost?
It's free.
I'm sorry.
Well, let me rephrase that. There's no cost to the families because it's not
Right.
a free program.
Right.
It's costing training grounds and its partners money to provide doula services and co-parenting education and wraparound supports, but it is no cost to the families.
So if you're going to have a baby,
If you're going to have a baby,
if you have a baby, if you are in a family with somebody who's going to have a family, then you probably want to check out training grounds as a part of your preparation.
yes, we are here. We are creating that sense of village. Some of our staff we were talking last week, and what we were like, you know what? We want to be that home in the neighborhood that every family went to.
Yeah, you get, yeah,
right. Like that's
absolutely.
what
Yeah.
training grounds
The hangout
is.
house.
We want to be the
Yeah.
hangout house. So if you have a child or you're expecting a child and you have children under the age of 5, we want to be that hangout place. We want you to be able to come there. We have parenting educators there to support you through your parenting journey. We also have what we call the We Play Center, which is a free play space where parents can come with their children and engage in brain building activities. We have the We Connect Family Resource Hub. So if you are looking for resources, you need to get connected to resources in the community. We have family navigators that are waiting to support you and not just refer you to somewhere, but to really walk along the journey with you to ensure that you receive the services and supports. So Fam First was just another component. It's like, okay, so how can we add to the work that we're already doing? And Fam First is it.
Wow. How long can they stay connected with you?
So Fam First is a 9-month program. So we take them in their second trimester. So if you're delivering sometime in February, March, or April, you can enter into Fam First, and we will provide doula support services. We will talk about co-parenting. We will help the young families kind of set goals, individual goals, and goals as a couple. Because we know that being between 18 and 26 and having a first child will bring on stresses that they've never seen before. And so we want to make certain that we're supporting the unit and giving them that support to get through those rocky times that we know the relationship will have, and then come out on the other side where the child is still the center of the relationship. So regardless of what might happen between the parents, we really want young parents and all parents to realize that the child should be the center, and our decisions and what happens between adults should always be centered around what is best for the child. And so they'll get that education in the beginning as opposed to waiting until things may not be working out to get that support.
When you look at the certain vicissitudes of life, children are our most important resources, and the foundation you set up for these children are paramount for their success in life. There's a direct correlation with kids that are nurtured, loved, and given the proper nutrition and resources they need with success in life. I mean, this has been mathematically and based from a number standpoint, statistical analysis, it is true that when you give kids a strong foundation at an early age, and I read something, I think 70% of everything you'll ever know in life, you pick up in your first 3 years. That's why it's paramount for programs like yours to exist, to give these kids an opportunity to be successful, become positive adults, contribute to society in a high way. And when you look at the disconnect with a lot of kids with problems and crime, it goes all the way back to their bringing up in the early stages of their life. So we have to understand and recognize that we have a responsibility to these children that we bring into this world. And we have a responsibility to help organizations such as yourself that's acting as a accentuation to the development of the child and of a resource that has been proven to work. So, it's something that we really have to wrap our arms around as a society. So I want to commend you, Ms. Melanie, for that.
Well, thank you very much. And yes, we know that 95% of a child's brain is developed by age 5. And so we're really setting that foundation for those first 5 years. And what we want parents to understand, and even the community at large, is to realize that what happens to children during those early years is really shaping their brain architecture and preparing them for how they're going to respond, really for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And so we want to create those environments where children feel safe, where children feel loved, where children are in communities where people are talking with them and not necessarily to them at a very early age as well. And so Training Grounds has always just felt like if we can support families, if we can support parents,
right,
and make certain that our parents are okay, then our children will be okay.
Well, tell us about doulas. It's something that has developed. It's not like it's new.
No.
But still, there's some people who are like, doula? My grandson was assisted by a doula, and so I became more familiar with it. And it's a wonderful opportunity. Plus, my grandmother was a midwife.
Oh.
Now, my grandmother was a midwife. Okay, so we're going back a ways.
Yes.
So we're talking 40s, 50s, 60s when she was doing her midwife in rural Mississippi. And as my daddy liked to say, sometimes the doctor wasn't sober enough to deliver a baby.
Oh, okay.
So call Miss Bessie.
There you go. No, it's not. Sometimes we talk about things as if it's a new concept or a new idea. But what we know is some things just worked.
Right.
And they've always worked in the communities. And so we are literally working with 3 of the best doula organizations in all of New Orleans. We have Labor and Love with Miss Shanika, her institute with Sister Michonne, and Changing Generations with Tayshawn Walters. And those are our partners for this Fam First program. And they're going to be providing those doula services. And those are individuals who are there to support the expecting family, both mom and dad, to help them understand what is happening, what's going on in their bodies, to be able to help them form questions to ask their providers, their doctors, or their midwives, just to be that emotional support to make certain that their voices and concerns are heard. And so that's not a new concept. In the past, it may have been grandmother that served that role, or it may have been your aunt or nanny or whoever that was there to support you. And so what we know is that we have better birth outcomes in our community when we have those individuals there supporting the family throughout the pregnancy, being with them during delivery, and just being that extra voice and those extra eyes to support the parents.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us, Melanie Richardson. The Training Grounds is a wonderful program. I didn't realize it had already gotten to the point where it's approaching 10 years.
Yes.
Man, that is good.
Yes.
I mean, these days with nonprofits and business startups, and there's all of the excitement and everything, and you get through a few months and then some drop off, and then a year or 2 or 3, and then kind of some other reality. But so to go for that 7 years and then approaching 10, I know how big a deal that is.
Thank you.
And so congratulations on that. And thank you for helping our babies.
Yes, ma'am.
We talk about babies almost every day here. As dads and grandfathers, we care about all of our babies because we care about those who are closest to us, but we care deeply about them. And we know that once a baby enters your life, it's beyond the cute kissy, hold them for a few minutes, because it's a full-time 24/7, 365 job.
Yes.
And you have to get them to the point where they're independent, but that takes a while.
It takes time.
Takes a while. All righty. Well, thank you so much. You're listening to the Good Morning Show, WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans. New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump says a 100% tariff on China may not be sustainable for the U.S. economy during an interview with Fox's Sunday Morning Futures.
That's what the number is. It's probably not, it could stand, but they forced me to do that.
Despite tensions, he's still expected to meet with President Xi Jinping, with talks between both nations ongoing. DNC Chair Ken Martin says most Virginians have accepted Jay Jones's apology for violent texts sent in 2022. Jones, who is black and now a nominee for Attorney General, called the messages reckless and unacceptable during a debate in Richmond. And Broadway faces a possible strike as musicians push for better pay and benefits. While actors reached a tentative deal, no agreement has been made with musicians who've worked since August on an expired contract. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to WBOK 1230 AM. This is the Good Morning Show. It is 8:05. You got to be there at 8:15. You got 10 minutes, and most of the babies are probably in school, but not all of them. Depends on their class schedules.
Right.
And so when you hit those roads,
watch out for the babies because they're very, very important to us.
All right, and that includes the babies with the hair on their face.
That's right.
Okay, so they're going to school too. We hope they're going to school.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish up high school and get on with the rest of their lives. Well, we told you before the break that there was some really big news yesterday. Some of you all who are listening and who are on Facebook probably know this news, but a whole lot of people don't know this news. So we're WBOK, 1230 AM, your community talk radio station, and we bring you news and information that you might want to know, should know, kind of want to know, and we do our best to bring some of the news to you. Well, we've got a lot of churches in New Orleans. We've got a lot of pastors in New Orleans. We've got a number of long-term serving pastors. Some of them have been doing it for 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, maybe even 30 years. But not that many make it to 39 years pastoring at the same church.
Right.
And even among those who pastor for any length of time, not many make it to the point where they're not only respected and appreciated at their home church, but the municipality, the city, the state where they live call on them on a regular basis for public service. Not many are asked to lead a national faith organization. Not many are asked in the times of trouble. We know you've got troubles with your family and with your community and your church membership, but we need your help over here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday at Franklin Avenue Baptist Church, Senior Pastor Fred Luter Jr. announced his retirement. Fred Luter Jr., who has meant so much to this community, rising from his street pastor days on Catherine Avenue, that's what it was way back then, and taking on the responsibility of Franklin Avenue Baptist Church, which was not very big back then. And he's reached the point where he's decided that it's time. So we're going to let you hear from Pastor Luter and hear his own words, and then we're going to talk about that a bit. Pastor Luter.
Your stand, it was the right decision. However, through it all, God has been faithful to the congregation at Franklin Avenue Baptist Church. Considering such an incredible past, it is now time to focus on the future of our congregation. With that said, it is with an extremely heavy heart that I announce my retirement as senior pastor of Franklin Avenue Baptist Church, effective next year, next October. I went out 40 years ago. Next year, if God spare life, I'll be 70 years old and will celebrate 40 years of pastor of FABC. Those are two good round numbers. As part of this transition, I want to call a special call meeting on Monday night, November the 3rd at 6:30. That's 2 weeks away, Monday night, November 3rd, for the purpose and the only reason for that meeting is to elect our senior associate pastor, Chip Luter, as our next pastor of Franklin Avenue Baptist Church. So please put that date on your calendar and schedule to be here. In closing, words are not adequate to express how much I love and appreciate each and every last one of you. It has been my honor to serve as your pastor for 39 years. To God be the glory for the things that he has done. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. God bless y'all. We love you and praise God for you.
Well, there you have it. It was quite an emotional moment. I mean, there was audible gasp across the sanctuary. I think those of us who attend Franklin Avenue, we saw this coming. But to hear him say he's retiring when he's meant so much to that congregation, to the communities where the church has been based, and across the city meant so much.
I've been knowing Pastor Luter for decades, since he was in the Lower Ninth Ward, since he went to Clark High School. And I can tell you without a doubt that Pastor Luter has had a profound influence on my life, not just as a man and a leader. When I was chief of police, I called on him on numerous occasions for his sage advice. He was always very receptive and giving. And when I went through my ordeals and transitions during Katrina. He was right there for me, along with Bishop Martin and Bishop Brister, and Bishop Wiley also. And I look at it from the perspective that he is someone who has changed my life, and he is the reason that I'm a Christian now, and why I have been able to transition into my new life. And the same love and time and dedication that he has given to Franklin Avenue, he has given to all of us as individuals. You can't understand what this man meant to so many people. When, like Will said, when he announced it, we just we were in awe. We were awestruck. It was a shock. He did a good job of keeping it secret. The only thing that'll palliate and mollify this is that we have a great young man who has been groomed his entire life to take his place. When you look at Chip Luter, I know why they call him Chip, because he is a chip off the old block. He is just as sagacious and perspicacious as his father. He is extremely wise for his years. And I'm going to share something personal because, my life is open book. I had many, many problems, and I talked to Pastor Luter about it, and he basically changed my whole disposition as it relates to life. And when my aunt and uncle died during Katrina, and I didn't go get them, I was vilifying myself, and he helped me to come back. And then when you look at it from the perspective that he has just given his life to this entire community, he is the most selfless and giving man I've ever been around my entire life. And then I look at his son Chip. When I was getting married, instead of going to Pastor Luter, I told him, I said, Chip is going to be the leader one day of this church. I said, and I'm gonna not disrespecting you by any stretch, but I'm gonna let Chip counsel my wife and I and get us prepared for marriage. I would like him to marry us, because somebody in their 60s like me, one of the older members of the church, a lot of older people, look at Chip as a little kid, but he is very ready. And I think if I have confidence in my life and my family to put it in his hands instead of yours, Pastor Lou, it's going to give a outward sign that Chip is ready whenever the time comes. Well, I didn't know it was going to be that fast, because November 2nd will be my my first wedding anniversary, so that was a year ago. But I feel blessed and humbled to just be close to that family and close to both Pastor Luter and our future pastor, Pastor Chip. And I just wish God gives him all the happiness that he deserves, because he is truly a great man of God.
Wonderful. Absolutely. And your testimony about Pastor Luter is one that so many people have in their own individual lives. And I can't imagine the things that he has in his head from doing that for you and your family.
Right.
And how many times he has done that for so many.
Right.
For 39 years.
Yeah.
For 39 years. It is 8:16 a.m., folks. You're listening to WBOK 1230 a.m. The voices you hear are Will Sutton and Chief Eddie Campos. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. We are talking about the big announcement yesterday. Senior pastor Fred Luter Jr. of Franklin Avenue Baptist Church announced his retirement effective in October of 2026. So there will be a church meeting in November to consider the elevation of Associate Senior Pastor Chip Luter to the role of Senior Pastor effective next fall. But this has been something that we knew it was coming,
right?
But he deserves the opportunity to step back. But my guess is doesn't mean people aren't going to be calling.
Oh.
So he's going to have to define that period after retirement, and make sure that folks know where he's in, where he's out, and what the barriers are, what the boundaries are for considering communication and participation. 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. So, Pastor Luda, congratulations on 39 years. We look forward to seeing what your next chapter will look like. And we know so many in the community will be interested to come out, not just in October when you end the pastorship, but I suspect there'll be people we'll be seeing in the next year because they want to make sure that they see Pastor Luda preach again.
Oh yeah, he's very, very special, and I was glad I was able to share that moment. I was sitting right behind his wife when it happened. And I remember when she was on the stage, but I was sitting right there in front.
She was in front of you before the family went on stage.
And I mean, I was just, and my kids, they came and visited, and my daughter said, "Did you know this, Daddy?" I said, "Nah." Yeah. And then my son, I know you're a good actor, Dad. I said, I can't act. I would win an Academy Award if I could act that well.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we're going to be going to break, and when we come back, there's more news and information that you want to know and should know. And one of those big things is we have an election coming up. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we had the October 11th election, but there's another one coming, folks. It's going to be on November 15th. But there are some things you should know about what you can do and consider today and this week, and things to put on your calendar for between now and then. So we're going to get you updated and make sure that you can be a part of making important decisions on or before November 15th. You're listening to WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
Good morning and happy Monday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. If you plan on attending tonight's NBA Youngboy concert, expect enhanced security measures across the Crescent City. The NOPD has brought in 400 additional officers to patrol around the Smoothie King Center, the CBD, and the French Quarter amid safety concerns. Those safety concerns have forced other major cities like Atlanta, Chicago, and Detroit to all cancel the rapper's concerts in recent weeks. Officials say there will be no bags allowed inside the Smoothie King Center. You can bring what fits in your pocket, like a phone or your keys. Then you might notice extra officers patrolling around Lakeside Shopping Center today after a prank caused panic yesterday. The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office got a call about an armed suspect at the mall. They say after a thorough search, they found no gunmen or victims. Investigators say they do believe that call was a prank that was meant to cause panic. The mall was not evacuated or placed on lockdown during the search. And finally, budget hearings picked back up this morning at New Orleans City Hall amid ongoing concerns of a budget deficit. Last week, an auditor presented their findings about what went wrong with last year's budget, revealing the projected deficit could be as high as $160 million. Today, the mayor's office and the Office of Homeland Security will present their wants and needs for next year. And that's a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU. Have a great day.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the community scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to WBOK 1230 AM. I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Chief Eddie Compass. It's 8:24 AM. If you got to be there at 8:30, I hope it's a really short commute. Really short commute. A lot of our babies are in school now, but some of them are not. They're on their way. So they got to be safe, huh, Chief?
Oh, yeah. Got to keep it slow.
Keep it slow. All right. So you're listening to WBOK 1230 AM. You're hearing our voices. We would love to hear yours. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. I want to remind everybody that the big mayoral election is over. But elections are not over. So we have on the November 15th ballot a District A race that features Holly Freeman and Amy McCarron, and they're vying to replace City Councilman for District A, Joe Giarrusso. And that district includes Lakeview, Mid-City, Holly Grove, and parts of Uptown. So we know some of you all live in each of those areas.
Right.
So you can play a role with deciding who should replace Joe Giarrusso in the first round of ballots on October 11th when you tally early votes and otherwise. Holly Freeman got 39% of the vote, and McCarron got 32% of the vote.
Okay.
So that's not a huge difference. And so there were other candidates who got shares of that vote. So they're going to be looking for somebody to vote for, and you should too. We'll also have the race for City Council District E. That's currently represented by City Council member Oliver Thomas, who vacated that post, is vacating that post because he was running to become the next mayor of New Orleans. And, of course, Helena Moreno won that role. So Oliver Thomas won't be continuing in that seat. So we have had quite a number of people running for that seat. And so nobody won outright. And State Representative Jason Hughes wants to be the successor to Oliver Thomas, and former City Council District E Representative Cindy Nguyen wants to return.
Right.
Cindy got 46% of the vote, and Hughes got 36% of the vote. So the folks who voted for other candidates are going to be deciding who they want as the next council member. And so that is on November 15th, but there are other dates to know. And, of course, we have the clerk position. The incumbent, Darren Lombard, was in competition with Calvin Duncan, the life prisoner turned lawyer who has a good story. And he wants to be the next Orleans Parish Criminal Court clerk, partly based on his lack of access years ago to records that would have helped him with his case. And Darren Lombard wants to continue as clerk based on what he sees as enough accomplishments and success and building on that foundation with another term. But the vote was so close that it was only 700 votes that separated Duncan and Lombard with the 98,000 votes cast in that race.
Wow.
Hey, man, that's 700 votes.
That's less than 1%.
700 votes. I mean, wow.
Yes,
that's
close.
pretty darn close. But even if 700 went one way or another, the question would be, would that be enough to get the 50 plus one? And with another candidate in the race getting votes, probably not.
Right.
So now we have a runoff. And so it is not too late to register to vote so that you can vote in the November 15th election. But it is too late to register to vote in person.
Right.
You can register to vote online. And the deadline for that is October 25th. So today is October 20th.
Yeah.
So you have just a few days more that you can register online. So if you know someone who's not registered to vote, if you're not registered to vote, if you let it slip, or somehow, whatever reason, you used to be registered to vote, but you are not registered to vote, please get out there on your laptop, on your mobile, and call up Go Vote online registration. You can go to Go Vote, GEAUXVOTE, and you can find the Go Vote online registration system and get signed up. It takes you no more than a couple of minutes. And you have to do that by October 25th because early voting starts November 1.
Right.
So Halloween is October 31st. The next day starts early voting. And we know traditionally there's a big drop-off from the primary to the runoff in terms of the number of people who will vote. So if you think your vote doesn't count, I'm going to here to tell you, your vote's going to count even more.
Right.
Even more in a runoff where there's an expectation of fewer people to vote. So you can register online only between now and October 25th. Early voting is November 1 through the 8th, and that's going to be 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Same locations as early voting before. And for those of you who are eligible for absentee ballots, you can request those ballots by November 12th. But they have to be received by November 14th. That doesn't mean you have to wait until November 12th. So you can go ahead and request that absentee ballot. If you know somebody who meant to do that for the October 11th election, but timing didn't work out, you have an opportunity to make that work this time. So only one citywide election and then 2 city council elections, Chief. But That's important.
Well, when you look at it from the perspective that I say only 40% of people voted, and they say that was a big number, to me, that's very average. It may be in the teens or low 20s for the runoff election. So your vote will count double because the impact that you'll have, because 80% of people might not vote. So your vote counts for like 5 if you look at it from that perspective. So it's very important to vote. Like I always said, I don't care what the situation is. People died for our right to vote. People gave up everything. People gave up their freedoms. People gave up their jobs. People gave up their way of life for us to have the right to vote as a people. So it's very, very, very important, not just from a civic standpoint, but from a moral standpoint. You know, you lead by example by using the real power that you have in a democracy. This is not a dictatorship. This is not an oligarchy. This is a democracy. And the democracy's number one advantage over all other forms of government, the people, which we are part of, the people pick their leaders for the most part. And when you have the opportunity to pick a leader and you are remiss in doing so, you are not functioning as a good steward of society, and you're not functioning as someone who is politically engaged. So therefore, if you don't vote, don't complain.
Well, that's for sure. And you got an opportunity to register to vote now through October 25th. And you can request absentee ballots between now and November 12th. Don't wait until November 12th. Yes, you can do it on November 12th. But, you know, life be lifing, and things will get in your way. You'll forget one thing or another.
Right.
Go ahead and get the absentee ballot if you're eligible, because what you have, then you have an option.
Right.
You can use the absentee ballot and return it no later than 4:30 on November 14th.
Right.
Or you can have the absentee ballot and make the decision to go vote early.
Right.
Or you can make the decision to go vote on November 15th. Right. But at least you have options.
Right.
More options if you're eligible for an absentee or mail ballot. Go ahead and get it, and then choose when you want to vote. I know some of you like to vote on Election Day, but increasingly a larger and larger percentages of us are voting early.
Right.
And so consider that as well.
Right. You know, when you look at, you know, the vote is going to determine who's going to lead you for the next 4 years. And especially in a citywide elections, you know, the individual that's going to be in charge of the voting process is paramount in our system. So no matter who you think is the best person for the job, you got to vote. You have to vote. It's not an option anymore, in my opinion. It's a responsibility. And we look at it from various districts that have people that's running. You know, a district council person is extremely influential on getting things done and lobbying for different things that's important to his constituency. So if you want certain things done within your district and you want to have access to that position, you have to pick the person who will be receptive to the needs of the community by their past performance, by their future performance, which you heard at the debate. So you have to be a well-informed voter. And I'm sure there are going to be a few more debates, a few more chances for you to engage with the candidates, and take those opportunities to get to know these people a little better. Now that the mayor's election and the sheriff's election and the big elections are behind us, the council at large, now we can zero in and drill down on the little nuances that separate one candidate from the next, the thing that'll make them the best person to do the job. So that's something that we have to take into consideration. The eyes up on the smaller people now, the smaller races now, and it'll give you a better lens where you can concentrate on one thing and one individual. So just vote.
All right, we got a caller. Good morning, Don. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How you
doing? You vote? I want to tie in a subject matter to voting and the inheritance and legacy of it. Last week, me and my brother took my 97-year-old father, dad, to vote.
Wow.
He's a retired Power Drivers Union, Carpenters and Power Drivers Union. And 97, and I'm tied in with other issues as far as inheritance. They're talking. There's a story been going around about the great wealth transfer. All these billionaires and multimillionaires are going to transfer their wealth through inheritance to their heirs, and many have took the pledge to give away their wealth, 95%, some of them, as a testament to a sister like Mackenzie Scott has given away billions of dollars, and yet she grows richer. So my question is to you both is that how do you, and you said that Pastor Fred Luter is retired, his son is
Chip.
With the responsibility, the awesome responsibility, the pressures, the obligation that goes along with being a beneficiary, an inheritor of such wealth and responsibility. Have we prepared? We say the young people don't vote. Have we prepared the young people to inherit the historical victories, challenges, to move into the future, you think? Are we doing a good enough job with our children and grandchildren? Because they're far removed from it. They don't know anything about sit-ins and haven't experienced it themselves. And the books are being removed, so we must have our own libraries anyway. So when I hear you talk about the voting and what was sacrificed and still being sacrificed, is there a disconnect, you think, with the young people and the awesome responsibility and privilege it is to carry on that legacy and not just carry it on, build on it? We must teach them that you can build on this legacy to where there's far less the first African American to do this, the first Black woman to do this, first woman that can do this. It should be a part of our general society if we are a advanced society, if you will. So I hope that makes sense, those questions, or that question in particular. Are we preparing our young people to inherit,
Don,
yes,
that's a very, very good question. A lot of people look at the old school as superannuated and obsolete, but that was the way to do it, the way I was brought up in the political arena, where we were taken under the wings of these organizations. Like I said, I always talk about Don Hubbard and Louis Charbonnet and Lambert Bazzi and Sidney Bartholomew, and they basically tutored us as little kids on how the process works and touching the flesh. I think there's a disconnect because the social media aspect of politicking has taken a lot of the human element out, and the kids are not getting that FaceTime, for lack of a better term, and the wealth of knowledge that's out there in the political arena, and individuals who have walked those streets, people like Jerome Smith, who have been put in jail and beaten because he's fighting for the rights of African Americans. And I think you're exactly right, where we're not doing a good enough job to transport and give that type of leadership and experiences to our young people. One good thing, like you said, about using an analogy of Pastor Luter and Chip, well, Chip has been groomed for that position since he was a young kid. He's maturated through the academic aspect. He's worked at various churches around the country. He's served in the capacity of the number 2 person out church for several years, and he's been prepared for that. And we're not doing that as a society as it relates to our voting blocks and the education of our young people as it relates to voting and the sacrifices that were made. When you talk about the Jerome Smiths, every kid in this city should know who Jerome Smith is. Every kid. Every kid in the city should know who Avery Alexander is. Every kid. Every kid should know who's Dorothy Taylor. But unfortunately, those things are not being taught in the schools, and a lot of our Black heritage is being erased, unfortunately, because we are not having the the conversations that we really need to have with them. So all I can do from a personal level, from this pulpit, from this venue, from this media responsibility that I have, is to educate people on what was done for me. I was educated as a young black kid at a very early age to understand the sacrifices that great black Americans who have come before me have made for us to have the right to vote. That's why it's so precious to me. And until we impart that type of knowledge and passion on our kids, you're right, there's going to be a disconnect.
Well, one final thing, and I appreciate it says, it does anything good. Has anything good ever come out of Nazareth? Jesus was from Nazareth. So we talk about the Abraham Alexanders, but what community produced Avery Alexander or Jerome Smith? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to say that we can point to personalities and people, but we also must point to those communities that birthed them, that nurtured them, and so that invites other people that, hey, if when such and such made it, then we can make it. It's not, we can change our condition. In other words, we have lordship over our condition. We're not helpless people. So anyway, thank you for your show, and I enjoy it each and every morning.
Thank you, Don. I really appreciated your consciousness, for lack of a better term, and your engagement into what this really needs to be done. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Don. I will note that Pastor Chip Luter has, in recent years, become active with Together New Orleans, which is a nonpartisan group focused on the improvement of the quality of life and more across our city. And so he's become a leader in that organization, and I think that speaks to where he wants to spend some of his time with educating the community and growing voter engagement and voter knowledge. So I see that as a good thing.
And he's also just recently received his master's degree. That's
correct. Yep. So, all right. Well, we're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to talk some more about news and information that you want to know, might want to know, should know, right here at the Good Morning Show. And if there's something that's on your mind, on your heart, something you want to share, or perhaps there's a question that you want to ask, we'll do our best to respond, but at least we'll give you an answer. WBOK 1230 AM Talk Line 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
This week, expect sunshine and a fall-like feel. Mornings will be cool with warm afternoons. Mostly sunny today with a comfortable feel. Highs in the low to mid-80s. Lows tonight will be into the 50s on the North Shore and the 60s on the South Shore. Slightly warmer temperatures for Tuesday with highs in the mid-80s to upper 80s in some spots before a cold front moves in, bringing us drier air by Wednesday. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Rishon.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Join us Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. Healthcare goes live on the Good Morning Show. Tune in to hear United Healthcare's Dr. Toyosi Okunronmu talk about mental health and important health tips. Wednesday morning, October 22nd at 8 a.m. on the Good Morning Show.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977.
Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Bryant Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It's 8:48 a.m. You got 12 minutes to get where you need to be for 9 a.m. If you got somewhere to be for 9 a.m., this is the last few minutes of the Good Morning Show, and then we're going to be making way for the front porch. If you got something you want to add, call the WBOK 1230 a.m. talk line. 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. You know, Eddie, I'm really, there was so much going on. I'm really curious about how some of the things went this weekend. I had some insights about the Home Fest, but I'd like to know if anybody went out there and what that was like. There was a huge promotion for the basketball game.
Right.
It was an exhibit game, but seemed like the game was secondary to all of the entertainment, including Master P and Shaq and, just all kinds of stuff going on. So we'd love to hear about that if any of you went out for that. And NOLA Funk Fest was 3 days. So that was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I got out there on Sunday and saw Cyril Neville and saw Kermit Ruffins, Irma Thomas. My goodness, still going strong. And that was a nice activity out at the riverfront. If any of you all were out there, love to hear about your experiences as well. Well, this week is another week where we have to be concerned about the budget deficit. And so the budget-related meetings will be continuing at City Hall starting today at 9:30. So when this show is over at 9, if you want to go over there or if you want to listen on live stream, you just go to NOLA.gov, or you can go to council.nola.gov and look for the meetings and look for the live stream. But the Budget Audit Board is scheduled to meet today at 9:30, so that's an important meeting. And also at 9:30 is the proposed budget hearings, the fourth day. So this is the fourth day of the proposed budget hearings. And so this is when City Council gets to hear from the different departments and parts of city government, and they can essentially talk about their budget, talk about why the mayor's mayor's budget leaves them with less money and the impact that they have, and talk about their plans. So that will include the mayor's office budget, Office of Youth and Families, Office of Criminal Justice Coordination, Office of Neighborhood Engagement, CORE, IGR, Homeland Security, Office of Safety Support Services, and New Orleans Aviation Board. So if you're interested in 1, 2, 3, or 4 of those, you have some time. You might want to listen in.
When I was superintendent of police, that was one of the most arduous things I had to do. But I was so blessed to have Courtney Bagnaris, one of the most assiduous, perspicacious, sagacious, and brilliant people I've ever been around in my entire life. And she had me prepared for every year that I went up there. So I hope that the other department heads have someone of equal skill, because I tell you, they ask you questions through that whole budget. And trust me, the police budget is very voluminous, and I had a lot to explain, but but that's part of the process. When you're a leader of a department, you have to have the skill set, and you have to have the people around you to develop that skill set. Because I was never an accountant or anything like that, but Courtney Bagnaris, or Chief Bagnaris, because she was a deputy chief, she prepared me. We spent hours upon hours upon hours, and I'll never forget that during the budgetary process, she sat on the other side of the room. I remember one of the council people said, "You sure you weren't that far away?" I said, she said, "Oh no, he's prepared." And that was one of my proudest moments when then Councilman Thomas said, "This is the first time I've ever seen a chief answer every one of those questions without deferring to his budget director." So it's a system that, you have to be prepared for, and you have to be ready for, but it's all part of the process, and that's how we're going to use the tax dollars wisely. And the only way you can be held accountable is to know your budget.
Yep. Well, the budget deficit is currently estimated at $160 million. That's not small. That leaves about $8 million to run the government when Mayor-elect Moreno comes in on January 12th. And that's not enough money. So there's got to be some other money coming in from somewhere. So there's the consideration from Mayor LaToya Cantrell about taxes and fees.
Right.
Taxes and fees. And during the campaign, City Council Vice President Helena Moreno said she thought there were some other ways to go. So part of the way to determine what other ways there might be, or what type of taxes and fees there can be, is to pay attention to the budget hearings and see what they're talking about and where they hear are the greatest needs, and what's it going to take to give them more than the mayor has currently budgeted.
I remember during the debate process, Mr. Januso, he was
Frank Januso.
Frank Januso. He was extremely adroit as it relates to the numbers of the budget. And he was talking about their city properties that could be sold. Their city things. We have resources right now that they're not being utilized, and there's certain things that we could liquidate, which I thought was very fascinating because I did not know that. So that may be one avenue. So that's one thing that comes out during these big debates, the different skill sets of the candidates. And, maybe she may want to reach out to Mr. Januso and hire him to a full-time job. There's worse things I think could happen because he's very adroit and articulate. I mean, he made a lot of sense to me during the debates that I heard as it relates to the budget.
Yeah, Frank Januso that was his key selling point.
Right.
I know finances. I know numbers. I'm a CPA, and I see things that other people don't see. And I think he grew a lot of respect, certainly among the group of candidates running for mayor and among those who attended the various candidate debates and forums. He didn't get the number of votes that he needed to be mayor, and I'm sure he didn't get the number of votes that he would like. But I think he grew a lot of respect based on the comments that he made and the ideas that he put forth. And that's one of the good reasons to have multiple candidates in a race. And sure, sometimes you'll have knuckleheads or wackos or people we really don't think should be running for mayor. But in other cases, there are people who are very passionate about this city and have great ideas, and those ideas can be looked upon and considered by whoever is elected mayor.
When you talk about finances, it's not something that's common to people. The language, the jargon, the parlance that he uses is esoteric, it's recondite, it's acromatic. The average person doesn't understand it. So you need someone that has a proficiency in that actual field if you're going to attack that budget. And I mean, like I said, when I was chief of police, I had none of those skills, and Chief Bagnaris did. And I was smart enough to let her lead me. And, I think as a leader, one thing you have to understand, you got to be smart enough to know what you don't know. And I think unless you have that type of skill set like Mr. Giannousso, you're going to have to reach out to a person of his ilk, of his skill set. And I'm sure there's those people within the organization because, like I said, Mayor-elect Heleno, she's did a really good job of getting the vote out, and she also surrounded herself with people who understand the challenges, and I'm sure she's going to pick somebody, if not Mr. Giannousso, someone with equal skill set to get this done, because it's something it's not an option. We have to get it done because city services are paramount in the functionality of the city and the quality of life of the citizens. So we're not going to go backwards, we're going to go forwards, and every new mayor is going to face challenges, and hers may be a little more I would say gargantuan, for lack of a better term, than most. But it's a situation that I'm sure she's gonna fix it.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK, 1230 a.m. Coming up next is The Front Porch. We want to thank Reverend Wallace and Don for calling in. We see you, Sean and Jacqueline, Dr. Martinez, Karen, Deborah, and I know there are a few others out there on Facebook Live. Always appreciate our listeners and our watchers. And we know there are a lot of you who listen and you don't call. But we know you are there. We are appreciative of your loaning your ears for a couple of hours. And we hope that you'll stay tuned for The Front Porch.
I just want to tell my son Marlon, happy birthday today, Marlon.
Hey.
Katrina, baby, 20 years old. Daddy, love you.
All right. WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.